join in and watch me play. But anyway, for those on YouTube, this is Void Bastards. It's what do the people call it? A roguelike? Roguelite? I don't know. It randomly randomly generated ships, which is not essentially true. Most of them are the same layout, they just have different rooms in them sometimes. Or you know roughly where you're gonna go some of the times. And if you die, you lose whatever you were carrying on you, and you like sort of come back as a different person. I'm not entirely sure on what the story, if there really is one, is, aside from you are part of a 1 million client or prisoner strong ship that hasn't reported in because it's lost all of its crew, and some sort of strange futuristic thing where prisoners are freeze-dried and you're literally a packet in a drawer and you get rehydrated, and that's quite funny. And if you die, then you've got like a semi-sentient backpack that floats back to your ship, which then floats back to the prison ship that you came from, and then you just sort of get given another character. You have to start over with like a set amount of food and ammo and fuel, and yeah, you fumble your way through getting the prison ship out of this part of space called the Void Nebula or something, or Sargasso Nebula, I don't know. But there's pirates, and it gets harder the further down you go. But there is an achievement which is to not build any non-progress items. So I can only build the story stuff. And I'm also trying to do it without dying, which is kind of difficult. But yeah, I mean, you can possibly do it relatively easily. Let's see, because I've got, you can see in the information on the left, I have warp keys which let me jump to any sort of ship that's nearby. I have torpedoes for pirates, or later on you get giant space whales which instantly kill you. They just eat your ship and you're done. I assume you can use torpedoes on them, because what is it? There's an achievement which is, I believe, a Red Dwarf reference, which is kippers for breakfast. And there was a character in that show, or an alter ego of one of the main characters, who was Arnold Rimmer, who was called Ace. He was like super charismatic, super brave, sacrificed himself for king and country, and his main catchphrase was smoke me a kipper, I'll be back for breakfast. Something like that. And yeah. I thought it was quite cool. Anyway, kept you waiting. It uses a very nice, very interesting cel-shaded style. I've forgotten what reviews are comparing it to. I've never played System Shock. I've never played System Shock. I've played BioShock, which is relatively, it's sort of a step above, step up from. Hey, oh gosh! Thank goodness for the oil. I suppose helps me. Run for that. What is this? It's like that episode of The Simpsons where Homer slips on some oil and ends up in Mr. Burns' office. That's the only modifier is lots of slippery oil. Damn right, there's lots of slippery oil. It's all over the ruddy place. It's a very, very basic and well set out, cel shaded art style. The enemies use a kind of classic two-dimensional sprite setup.
Persons acquiring
So
are required to fill out the 6-page
it's quite a bit like Doom
document
or sort of
and
old
handwritten by hand.
DOS/Windows 95 era games. Which is part of the appeal, I believe. Right, what am I? Oh, it's in this room. Get various things to hint at what's in the room. So humanoids make a steps text. There's weird other mutated characters which make a squelch. There's a huge lumbering character which makes a thump, I think, or stomping sound.
What's that?
Kidding me? Oh, we didn't see. Critical hit. No! Oh, I've got no bullets. Come on. No, I'm here.
Oxygen at 50%.
Okay. Oh, that's where the flipping... See the... Dancing appeared down there. That's where I need to go to get my area filled. I don't know if it counts for weapons. The pistol only thing is kind of a self-imposed challenge. Whoa. Apparently it's some kind of radiation mutation thing, and I don't know. It's got like the whole job system thing. Oh, come on. Denoting specialty of the character and all that. Yeah. Not that I need it. What? I got 2 of them? Seriously? Oh, man. What's that? Yeah, it's interesting. There's some enemies later on.
We think I usually steer symbol. C N T.
What's my fuel? 6 jumps. Screw it, risky.
Someone let the cat out again.
Yes, my little shuttle is called the S.T.E.V. Right. It's a nice haul. So yeah, as you see, you've got inventory for what you've collected, or what you have on you at the time. Status, which is your basic stuff, what you've got in general. And your bio, which is the offence for which you were imprisoned or dehydrated. And then you have traits which you do get defined. I think your first character always has one called Smoker, which gives you away periodically if there's an enemy nearby because you cough. But I found a ship. I found numerous ships that can give you and remove certain traits or replace them. So I now have a pretty good setup, I think. You can only have 3 from what I've seen. So yeah, interesting setup. Oh, I've also got the materials, which I'm trying to get more data.
Recycling helps WCG meet its obligations as a good corporate citizen. It might also get you the materials you want to build the things you actually need.
And you may recognise that voice as, I think, the guy from the Stanley Parable. So I've just scrapped those for data because I want to make this wiring diagram, which will combine together with the other 2 items I've got to make the HR computer, which is part of the story progression. So you can see the little bouncy arrow. You do get directed to specific items of interest to progress the story, but you can just make them out of, say, if I went there, it's got a weapon called the Kitty Bot, which is a distraction explosive, which is pretty cute and very devastating when you actually upgrade it. And it also contains lots of punch cards and things which convert into data. The control collar itself, I think, also converts into data. So there are ships that specialise in things, or you've got these ridiculously large hotel ships, which they have like 20 rooms, like sleeping quarters and stuff, and they are packed in as a whole. Just, you get tons of items from them if you can get them all, because they don't have an atmospheric module for refreshing your air, or not all of them do. So I could go to that one and go to a therapy machine, but I don't need to because I don't want to risk stuff. I don't want to risk losing things. Also, it's only worth going to those if there is, let's see, there we go. You want an undermined authority on one of those ships, because you can authorize a reset of the machine to get 2 or use it twice, which means you get a possible 2nd or 3rd trait for free if it provides just an add this, because some of them do say like replace this with this. and that's where you've got to fish around. So I could go there and get. Oh no, I don't want to use a warp key. Somewhere in it. No, I'm not going to that one. I am being a bit of a wuss. I'll admit. I only have 5 bullets too. Damn. Yeah, I'll admit I've been a bit of a wuss because I'm not going to many places. Need fuel, there's one down there. Do I really want to? Work my way down. I don't know if I can work my way back up. 1, 2, 3, 4. Is it worth using 4 fuel to get 2 to 5? I won't necessarily get all that I've spent back. This one's a better bet. Yeah, the problem with some of the things is it's like you've got to go to ammo specialised places. But in this playthrough specifically, it has been such a dick where you step out of the first door and there's a turret, and it's like the first or second or third ship, sorry, because the first. Fine. But you could only just have started, and you'll walk out of the door and get gun turreted, and that's it. You might as well turn around and leave, and then go find another ship. It's ridiculously cruel sometimes, which I suppose is part of the bastard's type, like, part of its name. Oh. A problem arises with this, in that. Walls. Damn it. Come on. I think they can walk that fast. Got him. There's a lot of strategic thinking like that. Like you lock enemies in rooms. Balls, the hell is? Where is he? I can hear.
Last call. putting the lube back
That means
in
in
the
the main
lube.
corridor.
Come on.
Oh, I'm so dead. Yes! Thankfully, they do not respawn, as far as I can tell.
Oxygen at 50%.
Are you kidding me? I've spent 50% oxygen just doing this. The janitors and most lower class enemies respawn.
Today's special cheese and onion sandwich.
Really
At Lux Dine.
nippy and mouthy ones called Juves, which I assume is short for juvenile. And there's other ones which are kind of a proximity suicide enemy called tourists, which I think the hardest sort of well, I suppose the most elite version of them actually have eyes, whereas normally they just wander around blindly. Start to melt down and explode if you go into proximity. So much data. Oh, so much data. Oh, hang on. What? Oh, it's locking the door. Bugger. I think that one through, did I?
What's that?
Passengers using S.T.E.V.
Oh, hell no. Yeah, he keeps stomping around. Ultimately, I've got a minute and 10 seconds to get to the FTL module drive at the other end of the ship. Oh, this will help.
Hey.
Oh, hell. Oh, hell. Is this where they're spawning? Ah. Oh, God.
Oxygen levels critical.
Yes, I know they're critical. You don't die outright once you run out of air, you start to slowly suffocate. But, whew,
Oxygen depleted.
wow. Yeah, you start to slowly suffocate. Oh boy. And you can see with, well, see the bullets. I have 2 bullets. It takes at least 3 with headshots to kill them quickly. 2 if I get lucky with my sniper trait. But yeah, there's more than that. There's a lot more stuff waiting to be collected. My only criticism is you can't skip this. You have to wait for it to go through every single item. There's no skip. And if you go through one of those and find a ton of stuff, I would rather just skip it all instead of being forced to ooh. Yes. I wouldn't worry too much about story progression because
Client feedback.
I haven't really
Keep kicking goals in the fashion you have been
missed
kicking
anything.
them. Going forward, an HR computer will provide us with a significant competitive advantage.
Booting. Loading Emotional Intelligence Module. Initializing org matrix. Registering unregistered citizen card. Time to registration, 6 months. Press turbo button to accelerate processing. Turbo processing initiated. Warning, system overheat. Prepare for plasma mounting.
It looks like you are in need of another client care package.
but seriously, it really just keep me.
Did you know
Oh, no.
use of turbo mode requires a water cooling system? Your new action items: obtain body fluid, Cool Pops wrappers, and water-based lubricant.
Oh dear. You start off like, oh yeah, you need a citizen card to return to the ship to tell it to, or to get it to leave, so like you're qualified to activate the FTL drive, and it's like, oh, did you forget to register? Well, looks like you've been trying to use an unregistered citizen card. Did you try and register it with the HR computer? Unfortunately, there is no HR computer, and then your character just sort of headbutts the table. Like, ding. Like, this is what you'll need to make it. And it's basically that. You go through about 5 stages of creating the progression items, only to have the next, like, the main thing that makes that thing work be the next thing you have to make. It's sort of a, you never asked. But why didn't you tell me this? You never asked, sort of thing. What do I even need? I need a... oh yeah, different Cool Pops. So, can I make any of these? I cannot make any of them. I can nearly make... lubricant. Pops, and I can sort of almost make body fluid, which... Data, damn it. Interesting. Right, I realise that wasn't much of a show, but I think I'm just going to stop here because I imagine people will get bored. I think I'll do a recording stream / playthrough thing of a harder difficulty, or the hardest difficulty if I feel brave enough. Like I've done past with stuff like Deus Ex Mankind Divided. Yeah, I just thought I'd just give a brief show of it. If anyone wants to see more of it, then feel free to let me know, because it's a very good game. Despite being pretty short, there's so many things that I can go back and do. Like, you can restrict yourself to only using gadgets or guns or indirect stuff like grenades. There's one for doing the entire thing unarmed, and there's a secret mode which uses a foon, which I believe is like a fork. It's meant to be a spork, but it's a knife-only mode effectively. But if the video I've seen is to be believed, you have to do it on like beat the hardest difficulty with Iron Man mode on. But yeah, you literally go around only able to knife things, which is sort of a small step above using no gun, I suppose. Anyway, thank you for watching, and I will see you later. Goodbye.